لكن تحديت الظروف وخضتها وحدي صبورا مستعينا بالصلاة. كم مرة عصف الأنين بداخلي، كم مرة قد ذاق قلبي من أساه محن تمر، وكم كرهت مصابها.
Yazid is going. خلاص. He got the advice. He didn't listen to all of the Sahaba that I just mentioned. What happened then? Yazid's troops caught up to Al-Hussein. And Ibn Ziyad, he is a wali of Yazid. Ibn Ziyad was under Yazid's rulership. And he had some authority. He ordered his troops to stand between Al-Sham and Al-Basra and not to allow anyone to exit or enter. And he sent Umar ibn Sa'd to meet with Al-Hussein. He said, Umar ibn Sa'd, take some troops and go to Al-Hussein. Stop him. Yani. Al-Hussein, when he heard of that he cannot enter Al-Kufa, and he was going, and the people were saying that you cannot enter Kufa. We just came back from there, or etc. And you're not going to be able to enter. There is something going on. They just blocked everything. He changed his destination. This was mentioned in Tarikh al-Rusul wal-Muluk ibn Jarir, wal-Bidayah wal-Nihaya ibn Kathir. He said he changed his destination to Yazid ibn Muawiyah. He said, okay, I'm going to go to Yazid ibn Muawiyah. At that time, Ibn Ziyad sent Ibn Umar to intercept Al-Hussein. And he caught up with him halfway. Al-Hussein told him, he caught up with him, which is of course Umar ibn Sa'd. Al-Hussein told him three things. He said, either leave me go back to Mecca, خلاص, let me go back to Mecca. Because Umar ibn Sa'd told him of the situation, and Yazid is the Imam, he's the Imam, and you have to give allegiance to him. خلاص. No more Kufa. Kufa actually gave allegiance to us, gave allegiance to Yazid. Yeah. So what do you want to do? He said, okay, no problem. Leave me go back to Mecca, to my people. خلاص. Or take me to Yazid. And he said this, take me to Yazid, and I will place my hand in his hand, and he will decide what to do. Isn't he the Amir? Let him decide. Yeah, take me to him. Or he said, you have a third option. Or you can take me to where jihad is taking place. There was some, in another location, there were jihad taking place, battle. And I will join the Mujahideen. And I'll fight with them until death. I'll fight there and I'll die as a Mujahid, Shaheed. You got these three options. What do you want to do? Ibn Umar stayed in a camp. He camped next to the camp of Hussain رضي الله عنه. And he sent a letter to Ibn Ziyad, the one who sent him. He sent him letters saying, oh, this is the situation. He gave me three options. Either go back to Mecca, or go to Yazid, or leave me go to jihad. What do you want to do? What should I do? When he received the message, Shamar ibn al-Jawshan, لعنه Allah, he told Ibn Ziyad, he started, filling his head. Don't accept. He's like, if you accept, he's going to be the honored one and you're going to be the humiliated one. Don't accept this. And let him come, just as he went and he tried to play around. But he didn't know Aslan. But this Shamar person, Allah, he started, he's an evil person. He's a wicked person. So no. He started assuming things and filling Ibn Ziyad's head with things. So he said, don't accept from him unless you arrest him. Let him come under your rule and arrest him. And then see what you're going to do. Then decide what you're going to do. Don't let him free like that. He decides what to do. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The grandson of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Al-Hussein, they sent him letters saying, Khalas, you have to come to Yazid. We have to arrest you. To Ibn Ziyad. طبعا Al-Hussein refused. So Ibn Ziyad sent Shamar ibn al-Jawshan. He sent him to take care of the situation. Since Umar ibn Sa'd was stalling, he wasn't doing anything, he's still waiting. He's like, what do you want me to do? I don't know what to do. And Ibn Ziyad, what did he say now? He's charged. Khalas, he filled his head. Yeah? So he said to Shamar, you go there and see Umar ibn Sa'd. If he's with you to fight, be with him. If he's not, kill him. Kill him and kill everyone. In one narration, they went together. In another narration, no, it was like that. There was actually one situation where Umar ibn Sa'd was there, and then Al-Jawshan came. Yeah, and there was also another narration. Allahu A'lam, if Umar ibn Sa'd did this or no, but I'm not sure. Some of the troops, when they heard Al-Hussein saying this, they sided with Al-Hussein رضي الله عنه against the troops of Al-Jawshan, Shamar ibn Al-Jawshan. This is what happened. طيب, Al-Hussein, of course, we know that he fought bravely, because they came, and Shamar ibn Al-Jawshan came and he said, no, we're not going to accept no this, no that, nothing. All these three options are disregarded. We have to arrest you. Al-Hussein refused, and he fought bravely, and he died as a martyr. رضي الله عنه.
Another objection raised, okay, there's another objection raised by the Madakhila and the Super Salafis and their likes, that they say, oh, Hussain رضي الله عنه, when he was on his way to Kufa, when they stopped him, okay, so we're going to go into an elaborative response, but when they stopped him, he said, look, let me give my hand to Yazid. I'm going to place my hand in his hand. So they say, well, look, he retracted, he made tawbah from it. You understand? Look at this. Okay, so we're going to answer that now. Okay, we're going to answer that. So as you can see, I'm going to go back to the book now, Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya. Okay, Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya. And as you can see on screen, and it's narrated by Hussain, فحدثني حلال بن يساف, that Hilal bin Yasaf told me, okay, that Ibn Ziyad ordered not to let anyone in or out of the roads between Waqisa. Okay, don't let anyone in between the roads of Waqisa, to the path of Sham, to the path of Al-Basra. And Hussein came without noticing until he saw a group of Bedouins, and he asked, and they replied, we have no idea except we cannot enter or exit. So Hilal said that Hussein, then Hilal said, and he then headed towards Ash-Sham, meaning Hussain رضي الله عنه and his family, headed towards Ash-Sham, towards Yazid. Listen to this. So first point here is, Hussain رضي الله عنه was on the way to Kufa. As we know, he went to do khuruj because he wanted the Khilafah. We already proved that he was on his way to Kufa, okay, because the manpower was already there. 12,000 men. Remember, we already proved that. So Hussain رضي الله عنه, when he was on his way, he asked some Bedouins what's going on, and they told him, look, we can't even enter in or out. So Hussain رضي الله عنه then headed towards Yazid, okay, because he knew he can't enter. Can't enter now, Kufa. So he was going towards Yazid, okay? Let's carry on and read on what it says, okay? Let's carry on and read on what it says. Then it says, the horses obstructed him at Karbala. So he was obstructed now. So he's been stopped. And there is a difference of opinion as to the numbers that were there at the time. So Hussain رضي الله عنه, so just to add as well, okay, the numbers that ranged from the army of Ubaydullah bin Ziyad and the people with Hussain رضي الله عنه differed. Some say 1,000, some say 2,000, some say 4,000. The Shia go overboard and say 10,000 to 100,000, etc. That's ridiculous. But the correct numbers are about between 1,000 and about 5,000. Okay, between that number. So let's carry on reading now. Hussain رضي الله عنه then besieged them by Allah and Islam. And Hilal, who's narrating this, said, Umar bin Sa'd and Shimri bin al-Jawshan and Hussein bin Numair was sent to him. And Al-Hussein besieged them by Allah and Islam to allow him to go to the commander of the believers and to put his hand onto his. Okay, now this is where they say, look, Hussain رضي الله عنه made tawbah. He wanted to pledge to Yazid. Okay, he wanted to pledge to Yazid. Now let's look at the context now. Hussain رضي الله عنه was on the way to Kufa. We know he was going to rebel, and we know he was aware of what happened to Muslim bin Aqil when he wrote to him and said, look, you got 12,000 men, come. And on the way, Ubaydullah bin Ziyad came, Nu'man bin Bashir was dropped from the government ship, and they killed Muslim bin Aqil, and the Shia of Ali, or the Shia of Hussain رضي الله عنه, betrayed him. So whilst he was on the way with his family, when he went, he was using Kufa as his base for his Khilafah. The same way Ali رضي الله عنه used it as a base. The same way Hassan رضي الله عنه used it as a base. So when people argue, why did Hussein take his family and friends? Again, stop being deceivers and distorters. He took his family because he weren't going to leave them in Mecca, where he was going to have his base in Kufa. he went to Kufa with his family because they were going to settle there in Kufa. That was going to be his base, or his asima, or his capital. So when he was on his way to Kufa, and they heard the Bedouins say, we can't even go in and out, Hussain radiallahu anhu knew what was going to happen. He knew it's been blocked now. The rebellion or the revolt ain't succeeded. It's not gone according to plan. So he went to Yazid because now he knew that there's no other option. And he was stopped by the horsemen, okay? He was stopped by the horsemen, and he asked them, look, and they obstructed his way. Now remember, you've got your family with you, women with you. He was coerced. He had no choice but to go to Yazid. So the intent of Hussain radiallahu anhu was khuruj, no doubt about it. And when they say, look, he went to pledge his hand to Yazid's hand, then obviously he had no alternatives. When you have family with you and you know your options are scarce, you know that and it's clear from that particular situation, Hussain radiallahu anhu was coerced. He had no other options. This wasn't done by free will. When he was going to Yazid, it wasn't done by his free will. He was going there because he had no other options. They blocked him from Kufa. And let's carry on reading. And they turned around and said, no, Ibn Ziyad gets to decide what to do with you. And Hussain radiallahu anhu, when at the time he wanted to pledge to Yazid, he refused. So can I ask you a question? If he was going to pledge to Yazid, and that was his intent from the beginning, why didn't he do it in Medina when they asked him to, before heading off from Medina to Mecca and stayed in Mecca? He would have pledged to, if he was radi, if he was pleased, and he had no issues with Yazid, then why did he not pledge straight away? Why did he leave from Medina to Mecca along with Abdullah ibn Zubair? So you can see this is done by coercion. He did not have absolute free will. The road to Kufa was blocked. Then they blocked him in Karbala. So quite clearly, technicalities upon technicalities, we know from a factual point of view that Hussain radiallahu anhu in Medina refused to pledge to Yazid. He refused, and this is fact. This is common fact. Anyone that disputes this is either ignorant or cannot digest the fact that his filthy methodology would not allow him to see clear evidences. I don't want to stress on that point too much because ultimately he didn't pledge. So even if he wanted to, you understand? Because it was coerced anyway. He had no choice. He was blocked. He was in a desert with his family and children. What would you have done? When you know what was the intent to go and rebel, to go and topple the Khilafah, as confirmed by Ad-Dahabi and various others, and you get to your destination, or almost get to your destination, but you realize, hold on, I can't even get in. He knew there and then that it's not going according to plan. So I don't want to stress on that point too much, but I find it absolutely laughable that they even use this. And, you know, Hussain radiallahu anhu did khuruj. It's not a problem to admit that. He rebelled against Yazid because he had bay'ah, he sought the khilafah, he went there, sent Muslim bin Aqil. Why did he send Muslim bin Aqil? Because he wanted to make sure all the promises and what they have promised him according to the letters is actually what was true on the ground. You could see all of the steps that Hussain radiallahu anhu took was correct. Sent Muslim bin Aqil, he saw the situation on the ground was clear, 12,000 men gave bay'ah, he sent a letter back saying, come, your base is here, the people are with you, and then he took his family there because he had the manpower there and that was going to be his base. If you want to use technicalities, that's fine, but you can't turn away the reality.
ليس الغريب غريب الشام واليمن إن الغريب غريب اللحد والكفن إن الغريب له حق لغربته على المقيمين في الأوطان والسكن سفر بعيد وزاد لن يبلغني وقوتي ضعفت والموت يطلبني ما أحلم الله عني حيث أمهلني وقد تماديت في ذنبي ويسترني تمر ساعة